again from the workbench. Been doing some research, and rest assured our trainer should be on the way by the end of the week. Meanwhile, I've got the old CA 100 on the bench. I've got the vertical and the horizontal stabilizer mounted. The next step is to hinge. So what we need to do is, it came with its own set of CA hinges, and I always like to inspect and make sure those are actually of good quality. They are CA hinges. They are good quality. So we open the bag. We got these little white square guys. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hinges. This is what they are. It's like a little white piece of plastic with fibers mounted to the outside of them. And what we'll do here in just a few minutes, take our control surface and we cut slots into the leading edges along the way. Okay, manufacturer has recommendations for those. We slide these into those slots, both on the control surface and the stabilizer, get them slid together, and then we put a drop or two of CA on the hinge itself, deflecting it all the way up and all the way down. And really, that's all there is to it. We'll be back here in just a minute with our slotting tools. And we're back. What I did, I went out to the shop and got a hinge slotting tool that I have. Dubro makes a pretty handy one. It's pretty neat. It's looks like a little pitchfork, I guess you could say. And what that is, that's for actually putting the slot in the control surface and the stabilizer. One thing I really like to include with this tool is the center finder. It's pretty cool. It's a little square with a slot just big enough for your slotting tool to go in. And what you do, you put it on your control surface, give it a little squish, and it automatically finds the center of your control surface. Just insert your tool into the slot, and that's where you poke it. Through the magic of television, and I went on ahead, took the liberty to slot my control surface, the elevator, and get the hinge installed. What you're looking for ideally is half of the hinge to go into the slot. You really don't want any more than that. With the control surface that is solid wood, it's easier to do it there and then mark your stabilizer. Because this is solid wood, you can control the depth of how far you want to go. Now what we do, since we've done that part, take our stabilizer and we're going to hold it against the stabilizer. This is kind of fun. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to mark where each slot is, and then I'm going to cut the slots. We'll be right back after I do that. I'll save the last one and show you how we do it. Okay, what I did, after I put the control surface up, and what I did, I took my pencil and I made marks where each hinge fell. Okay, I hope this works. So I'm trying a whole new setup here, but I'll get my center finder, squish it down, and then get it lined up with my pencil marks with the hinge tool in it. And what I want is the edges of this tool to line up with my pencil marks, like so. And then after that's established, we already found our center, we'll just kind of give her a little poke. You want to firmly go into the stabilizer, but you want to make sure you're flat when you go in, okay? Because you really don't want any kind of pitch to your hinge whenever you go to set it. So I'll just kind of firmly but gently push it in there. Now see, I'm feeling for any kind of internal structure. Went through. Okay, we went through our trailing edge of the control surface. We'll just back it out of there. And boom, we have a slot just like that. Okay, now that we have all of our slots cut, the kit that you order that comes with a couple different sizes of hinge cutters and center finders. It actually comes with a tool that looks just like this, but it's got a hook on it. It's for cleaning out your slots after you get done. You don't necessarily have to do all that. You don't necessarily have to have all these things. You can actually just cut it with an X-Acto knife and finding the center manually. In other words, measuring it out, making your marks, and then using a blade to cut your slots. And what I always do, even though the hinge slotter does a pretty good job, I like to clean them out. And I'll go in the slot like so and just pull the blade through like so. You don't want to, make sure your blade's tight. Pop it through the covering or anything that's not slotted, because then you're going to have a bigger hole than what's necessary. I don't think it would really cause any problems. But we'll poke it in there, pull it up and out, and you see that scrap wood coming out of the hole. Get that out of the way, and then we'll come in from the other direction, using the back of the blade, and just pivot and get all that scrap out of there. You know, just get it out of the way. It's just going to make life easier on you when you go to set the control surface. We'll be right back. Okay, I've got the control surface slotted and the stabilizer slotted, and I went ahead and took the liberty to go ahead and get this thing started. Now, what you got to do, it's kind of a balancing act. What you want to do is start at one side, insert your hinge into the slot, get that pushed down, and work your way down accordingly. Once you get everything lined up and in, go ahead and push it to the stabilizer, like so. Now we're up against it. Just kind of check for movement. That's plenty, because all we're required for this model is 3/4 up and 3/4 of an inch down. Now that we had that there, I like what it looks like. Get Tower Hobbies thin CA for this. It's kind of funny. Going back a long time ago, talked to a guy that was building an airplane. Oh man, I use that thick stuff on all my hinges because it stays wet longer and it has more of an opportunity to soak into the wood. True and false, all in the same statement. That was true and false all in the same statement. The thick stuff, it does stay wet longer. However, it doesn't soak into the wood faster. The thick stuff is just for gap filling. You're making an assembly. You sand a little too much off and you pin it down. Oh crap, now I got this gap there. That's why the thick stuff is called gap filling. You use it to fill a gap. You take the thick stuff and this handy stuff called kicker. It's a chemical that you spray on the CA to make it dry fast. I use it. It's a part of the building process. I've actually got this bottle to dispense it, and I've got a big bottle I use out in the shop to refill it with. So put that on your to-get list. For hinge setting, you want to use thin CA because the way that the hinge is designed, it's got a cotton fiber on the outside, and what happens is when we put the CA onto those cotton fibers, it wicks out, and what it does is it wicks out, it grabs a hold of that wood and sticks to it. Okay, now it's real simple. Open, let's see here. That's my homemade camera stand, by the way. We open it up and we can see our hinges here. Okay, perfect. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put 5 drops on each hinge, and then we'll flip it over and do another 5 drops. Now, try to be as nice as you can because you don't want to get glue all over your model, especially this being Solartex. It's not going to clean up worth a crap. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did get a little on there. Crap. Make sure she's 2. This is trickier when you got a full bottle of CA. Okay, 5 drops in there. And be sure you're in a well ventilated area with air moving, because the CA does give off a fume. You can't see it, but you can darn sure feel it when it hits your eyes. It will burn your eyes. Okay, so we'll go ahead. And of course, for smaller hinges, you want to use less drops. I'd say the next size smaller, go with 3 drops, 2 drops. Don't ever just put 1. Use at least 2 drops on your really small CA hinges. There are actually quite a variety of hinges out there available on the market. There's CA hinges, which I use a lot of. There's also epoxy hinges, which are actually little sheets of plastic with holes in them, and they actually have a hinge pin, like a door hinge. Those you actually set with epoxy. And then there's also hinge points. The Warbird guys love them because they're more hidden. You really can't see them, and when you do see them, they almost look to scale, to almost like a real control surface hinge. But well, that's today's segment on hinging a control surface. I'm going to go ahead and flip this bird over, get the back side of these hinges, and continue on with the rudder. Anyway, thanks for watching this little building tip or how to hinge segment of the show. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can, okay? Hey, thanks for watching. Share this video, subscribe, and thanks a lot. Before too long, we're going to do a complete trainer build, so I hope to see you. Maybe we're going to have a giveaway for that. Anyway, catch you later.